Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Southport State High Independent Public Schools' first School Council Forum and P&C meeting. So first, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land in which we meet today, the Kumba people, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So for those of you who don't know much about our school council, I just wanted to, first of all, introduce the people who are involved in the council. So I've got a couple of them sitting with me tonight who you'll see very shortly. But our school council chair is Brian Bond. I sit obviously on the council as the executive principal. Tracy Davis, our business manager, is part of that council. We have then a teacher representative, Rachel Curitan, who's also our head of professional practice. Our non-teacher representative is actually Dee. Lee was one from last year, so Dee Sedgmeyer is now the new non-teacher representative. We've got our P&C president and representative Janine Allen, who you'll see later as part of the P&C meeting. Another parent representative, Alvin Maradine, one of our parents here. We've got student representatives RJ Andreas, who's with us tonight. Our other student representative is Amelia Hughes. And then finally, we've got our community/alumni member, who is Bob Panther. So how the council works is, because we're an independent public school, we have to have a school council, and the idea is that we look at all the strategic initiatives that the school is engaging in and make sure that we are continuing to try and improve the school, to work through all of those things. So each person on the council has a responsibility, a portfolio. And we'll go through each one of those portfolios today. I'm going to present all the ones that would be usually done by the staff members at the school. And we've got RJ, who's going to talk about the student representation. And then we've obviously got Brian, who's going to represent all the parents this afternoon. So that's how that's how the council works. We meet 4 times a year, and we've made one of the things that we want to do out of the council is we want to be more transparent in what we're doing and what the school is doing. So after each one of our council meetings, we're going to run a forum like this online so that you can be involved in what's happening and know what's happening within the school, and then obviously engage through the chat. So you'll see the chat there just on the bottom right-hand corner is a little purple, half sphere. If you click on that, across will come the chat. Feel free to add in any questions you have across the presentation. At the end of the presentation, once Brian has presented his slides, we'll go to that chat and we'll try and answer as many questions as we can. At the conclusion of that, we'll then pass over to Janine Allen, who's our P&C president, and she will run through the P&C meeting, which we'd love you to stay for as well and be part of, so that we can try and engage as many parents as possible. Okay, so to get started, really the first thing that we go through is educational outcomes. So I'll talk you through a snapshot of our junior secondary achievements for the last 2 terms. So the main indicators for us around success are obviously attendance. So are students turning up to school? Because we know the research tells us that the more our students are in front of our teachers, the better results they'll get. So you can see there that obviously this is going to be a little COVID affected. So you can see there in term 1, in year 7, we had an attendance rate of about 92.3, and then pre-COVID term 2, we were about that 91, and then post-COVID 96. So what we're seeing in our attendance rates is, because now we're asking students that if they're sick at all, if they've got a sniffle, whatever, to stay home, it's actually affecting attendance at the school a little bit. 1 or 2%, which is not too worrying, but we're just making sure that we'd rather stay safe and get people to make sure that they are staying home when they're unwell, so that the rest of us can stay as healthy as possible. So that's something we're continuing to track. And obviously we've got our learning management system where all our students can access our curriculum online. So that's one of the strategies we're trying to use at the moment to ensure that students, even if they can't be at school, they can access the curriculum. Another big focus for us is for our students not to just get a pass rate of a satisfactory, it's actually to get an A or a B. So you can see there we're tracking across year 7, 8 and 9 our A/B results. And you can see there that in year 7, a bit of a negative impact there. We've gone down from 68 to 66. However, in year 8, we had a positive impact there. And in year 9, we've had a positive impact. So what we're learning from that is that our younger students had a greater impact of the online learning than our older students. So we're focusing on that. Obviously, if we have to shut down again, that'll be one of the focuses that we have. The next bit of data we look at there is obviously everybody passing. We'd love to have every one of our students pass. Unfortunately, that's not always possible because we have students who have varying differences in where their starting points are. We have students on individual curriculum plans who might be at a grade 3, grade 4 or grade 5 level. They're in our grade 7, 8, 9 classes. So we're working with those, but you can see there it's pretty consistent. We're around about that 93 to 91, 90 percentage around that. And we're always trying to challenge our teachers and our students to try and do better around that. And we're constantly tracking that. Another great indicator for us is around effort. And we want our students, and you'll hear it all the time from our teachers here, is we don't believe that a satisfactory in effort is good enough at Southport. So one of the other things we track is if our students get an A or B, so an excellent or a very good in effort. So you can see how we're tracking there. Our year 7s probably are doing the best there at the moment, 85%, year 8's down to 80%, year 9 around to 80%. Again, we've got targets to try and get that up to 100%. That's where we'd like it to be, because we want every student here giving their best effort and trying as hard as they can. And again, behaviour A to B's, again, we don't think satisfactory behaviour is good enough. We want our students to be very good or excellent. So we continue to challenge our students around that. So we're tracking that as well around percentage behaviour. So that's our junior secondary achievement snapshot. And I'll move on to our senior school stuff. So in senior school, very similar data sets that we track. Again, attendance, I won't read all of these out because you can see it on screen there, but you can see very similar numbers to our junior secondary students, the attendance around the 90% mark. Our ABs, and you can see in year 12 there's an NA in that final column. The reason for that is obviously our year 12s didn't have any more assessment because they cancelled an assessment piece as part of the COVID strategy for year 12s. So all their A percentages, etc., will all now be dependent on their external exams at the end of the year. But you can see how they were tracking in term 1 compared to the other cohorts there. And you can see obviously year 12 with that A to C percentage is growing. So in year 10, 87, in year 11, 92, in year 12, 93. And what we want to see there by the end of year 12 is 100%, so that we know that every one of our year 12s get a QCE, a Queensland Certificate of Education, as well as successful in graduating from school. And again, you can see effort grades and behaviour grades there. Again, we know that there has been some impact from COVID this year around those achievement grades. Again, if you've got any questions about any of these things, feel free to hit the chat there and we'll do that. Okay, so that's the education portfolio, which I usually present at the meeting. The next one is marketing and community engagement portfolio. So one of the things that we're constantly trying to build around the school is making the school a community hub. And we want, it's a collaboration between the school, it's our business alliance, our alumni, our local community, our students and our parents. And recently we've looked at trying to revision what that means for a community hub. And I guess our overriding vision for that is if we do this really, really well, we want to be able to provide 100% employment for all our graduates. And look, we know students will go to university. We know students might leave the Gold Coast and go to other places to work. But what we want to do is we want to put our hand on our heart. In 3 years' time, when we check back in with our graduates, we want to know that each and every one of them has been successful in transitioning from school and then obviously transitioning into the workforce. So that's where we're aiming at the moment. And all the work we're trying to do around the community hub is about creating opportunities for our students to do that. You can also see there about the hub for local families and business owners, so you can collaborate and connect at the school. Businesses look at our school and our students as a place to hire top talent, and we're trying to work on this idea of the Pathway Centre being somewhere where people can advertise part-time jobs and those sorts of things, and we can actively recruit for them. We want to engage our alumni more. We've had really great success with our older alumni through Facebook, where we're looking to try and find ways to connect our younger alumni, so the students who finished in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, through different things like Instagram pages, etc. So we want to try and connect them back to the school as well, so that there is a bit of a benefit back to us, and just so that the whole community gets behind this vision of we want all of our students to be successful. We want them all to be employed and have opportunities in the future. So that's what we're doing around our community hub. You'll see with our marketing, we going technical on everybody. We've got our QR codes So they'll come, you'll be able to get those on the website very shortly. You just hold your camera over those and then it'll take you to the website and allows you to click to our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn site. So the more that you can follow those and promote those in your own networks, the benefits are going to be for our own students. Obviously, the business alliance there and the alumni sites are there. So the more that we can work together to try and build our profile across the whole community, so the more you can share the great stories that happen at Southport, the more you can share the business alliance, the more contacts that come back to us, and that creates more opportunities for every one of the students. So that's what we're trying to strategically do around marketing in that portfolio. Teaching staff. So Rachel Curitan oversees this portfolio, and I guess what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an expert teaching team and experts in every part of the school. So not just, our non-teaching staff are a really important part of our school, and we're trying to, but our teaching staff is where Rachel's focus is, and you can see there we're trying to build our teacher efficacy. We want them to be innovative, use evidence-based practice. And so the strategic initiatives that we're trying to do, well, we are doing at the moment, is we have a professional learning plan for every teacher, and we're trying to maximise student progress. We have a focus on innovation. We run numerous professional development sessions before, during and after school for our teachers to build their expertise so that they can work better for a young person to get the maximum result. We're also focusing on teacher wellbeing. We know that our teachers are happy and they're healthy, that they're going to be do their jobs better, so we've got a real focus on that, and we're making sure that our annual performance review process that we do with teachers includes, we call it a knowledgeable other, so it's with teachers working together with other really experienced teachers to improve their practice. So we've got a constant focus at the school about creating expert teaching teams, and Rachel and her team do a fantastic job of trying to build that capacity all the time. So it's a really great initiative. Staff have really bought into it over the last 3 or 4 years, and we're seeing the differences in the classroom. So fantastic work happening with teaching staff and with Rachel and her team. The next portfolio is the non-teaching staff, or our support staff. So these are the people who clean the rooms, who do the grounds, who you might meet in the front office at reception, teacher aides who are with students in the classroom. And Dee is our new representative for the parent representatives, and you can see there where we want to be in 12 months, and she's brought a new perspective to this portfolio with her recent addition to the council, and it's really great. And what we're trying to do is the same thing we've been doing with our teaching staff about creating focused training and improving their professional knowledge. To be able to perform their role better, we want to roll exactly the same system out for our non-teaching staff. So you can see there the initiatives we're looking at is professional opportunities, so to build their capacity to professionally work in their roles. We want to have a variety of different options for those staff to attend, and a chance for them to do that on a volunteer basis so that they can choose their own adventure, so they know what they want to build on. Again, that well-being is a really important part for us at the school, is making sure that our non-teaching staff are healthy and want to be here and are connected to the school, have great spirit around that. And then we want to encourage team building and increase morale with that staff there, with our staff meetings, etc. So yeah, a really important part of the school. They're the engine room of the school. That's what keeps us going. So we're working really hard with our non-teaching staff over the next 12 months to build their professional capacity to better support the learning within the school. The next portfolio is facilities, and Tracy Davis, our business manager, oversees this portfolio. You would have seen lots of stuff happen at the school recently around facilities, and you can see her aim there is to continue to improve and upgrade those facilities to support and enhance the delivery of educational programs for our staff and our students. And I think everyone would agree right now the school looks fantastic. Students take lots of pride in coming to this school now and love the new areas and the way that we're looking after the place. And and I walk around the grounds, and the way the students are treating the grounds now, and the lack of rubbish, etc. in the grounds is a real indication that how well or what an impact that is actually having on our student population and our teaching population. And you can see there just a few things that are going on at the moment around some sun protection there. We've obviously got our new building, the B block, which burnt down last year. We're at the tender stage, so we've got plans and stuff out. I think even Sam, a Conroe local member, posted up on Facebook today the plans of those. So if you should be able to find that. If not, go to the website, you'll be able to see that. So that's on track for tender at the moment. It should start at the end of the year. So halfway through, we'll have that whole new block built, which will be fantastic. We're continually working on the grounds to make it a more, I guess, attractive place for our students to be in when they're not in classes. And we're doing, trying to create more seating, more shade, more of that fake grass areas for them to sit on, etc., which they're enjoying. We've just renovated the uniform shop, which is fantastic. And so it's again that first impression when people come into the school, they see a very professional and welcoming place to go to get their uniforms, etc. We're working on our staff rooms to make sure that our staff rooms are pleasant places for our teachers to be, so that they feel good about coming to work and feel positive about the school and those sorts of things. Our canteen, which you'll hopefully hear a lot more about, we're putting in for a grant for that. Our current canteen is only just surviving with our numbers at the moment, so we put in a grant for $1 million renovation, or actually to rebuild a freestanding canteen. So through the Triple S grant, hopefully we'll be able to access $500,000 in a grant, and then obviously the school provides the other 500. So that's a really exciting initiative that we're working hard on at the moment, and that we'll get the money around that. And then obviously our learning hub, which is our library here at Southport, we've got that up and running. We've got our seating in there. It's being used every day by our students at lunch times and the daytime. We're ordering some novels. We go and novels, or not hire, but borrow novels as well, and just a place for students to work before, during and after school every day of the week. So that's what's happening around facilities, and as I said, Tracy Davis oversees that work now. So what I'll do now is our next portfolio is our student portfolio. RJ is one of the 2 students who oversees this. He's working fantastically well with Amelia. So I'll pass you over to RJ and he'll talk you through the student portfolio.
Hello everybody, I hope you are having a wonderful evening. So like Mr. Hughes said, I just represent students, make sure that their needs and wants are met in the school so that they're happy. So I work with Amelia, making sure that everyone's happy. So our big 3 and our vision for each are facilities, social and student support. So our facilities, we are hoping to improve regularly school facilities such as toilets, shaded areas and classrooms to ensure students are comfortable and safe in their learning environment. We also have social to better the typical student fundraisers hosted within a year, school-based activities and community participation to improve social interactions between students. And then lastly, we have student support, which is our most important aspect of learning, the well-being of students. By heavily focusing on their physical and mental health, it will allow for improvements on the support given to students, which will better their well-being and ensure each and every student is the best version of themselves. So we chose these 3 through a survey that we conducted on the students. They indicated that these 3 are the most important to them. So Amelia and I decided that we'd make sure that they're happy with these 3, and we'll continue to work until the 3 are perfect for them. And just for the future, we have a couple of strategic initiatives. One of them is to effectively satisfy the needs and wants of all students. Student feedback will regularly be collected through surveys and questionnaires, which will mainly be posted on the Student Hub Instagram page, which we recently just launched for students. And Student Council is actually currently collaborating with Bond, who I'll pass on to now, to create a new strategy to improve collection of feedback from students.
Thank you, RJ. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Bond, and I'm the chairman of the council. The focus for us is to probably be your voice, to make the school your hub, and make it the cornerstone of our community, with the focus to understand what is working well for you and where can we improve. So as per the slides, you can see that we want to be the participants and be involved in the school. We want to focus on positive and respectful two-way communication between parents and the school, and predominantly focus on innovation program, work with the students and make sure we can focus and improve the school for for everybody, not just students, but also parents. Strategic focus areas: communicate and work with parents to create a vibrant school community, and hosting a series of conversations with you as parents so that we can identify areas where we as a school can improve and what's really working well for everybody. That concludes our slides. So back to you, Nigel.
Okay, so I guess right now we're sort of talking about whether anyone had any questions. I'm just having a look at the chat there. It doesn't look like we've had anything come in, so that must mean that we've done an incredibly great job of informing everyone tonight. However, what we will do is we're actually going to post this on the website so that everybody can see the recording. I guess if anyone's interested in sending any feedback through to us about how we can do this differently, how you can engage better around that, we can have a look at that, and I guess just send it to the school email address. You can do principal@Southport State High School. It's probably the easiest way to make contact with us, but all those addresses on the internet there. As I say, I can't see any other there. I've got Simone. Do you have your hand up, Simone? Is there a chat you've got there? Rebecca said, thank you, very succinct. That's good. Simone, if you can type it in the chat, I don't think we have the ability for you to speak, but if you can type in the chat there on the right-hand side, we'll be able to help you out there. If not, I can't see anything coming through from Simone. So what we'll do, Simone, is we're actually moving into our P&C meeting now. So if you would like to still put something into the chat, we can have a look at that at a later stage and get answered. I just want to know why the Army arrived today. Okay, yes, so the Army band was at the school today. So it was just one of our music teachers, Liam Thomas, is part of the Reserves Army band. So they came in and did a session with our music students and then did a performance at lunchtime. So the marching band marched through the school playing, and then did a performance to students down at the quad, which was actually really fantastic. They're excellent musicians and did a fantastic job. So okay, so that'll finish our school council forum for tonight. I'll turn the camera around so you can see the P&C committee, and Joe's here from Sam's office as well, and we'll run through our P&C meeting. If you want to stay for that, that's fantastic. If you're only here for the forum, then feel free to click the button there and end the session, and we'll run through our P&C. I'll pass you over to Dean and the P&C members.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our P&C meeting. I have Ronami, Joe and Karen here with me. Ronami is our president and Karen is our secretary, and I have apologies from Carmel, our treasurer, although I do have a report from her, a quick report. So at this point, we're going to turn our meeting around. We'll just confirm the previous minutes, and then we might go straight into general business and discuss some of the subjects that we've got in there. And we'll just do our P&C jargon at the end, so it's not too confusing for everyone. So everyone, the minutes get sent out to everyone whose email address we have, and they have the opportunity to go over them. So we just confirmed that they were a true and accurate account of our last meeting, which was in June. We haven't been having meetings every month due to COVID and not a lot happening. So we're happy that they're accurate. Okay. So if we go down to general business first, we have the asbestos policy, which every year we go over the asbestos policy, which we've done. We're not going to do here at this meeting because it's quite long and drawn out, but we've all been through it and ticked off on it. And the hiring of Event Cinema, Australia Fair, why have we got that on there?
Yeah, so the Event Cinemas has contacted us as a part of the business lines, and they're willing to offer the P&C as a fundraising, is that you can choose a movie and you can sell the tickets for it, and then they'll give us a percentage of the profits of that. So it's just an easy way that you can do a fundraiser. Apparently we've done it a number of times. So for example, I don't know, let's say Free Willy was on, we just advertise here, we sell all the tickets and fill the cinema, and then they give us a percentage of the profit. So it's just they said it's just like a really easy way to make money. There's no cost to us other than the selling tickets. It's just a way that we could do a fundraiser. So it was just on there as a business alliance member who approached us, and we thought that might be a nice way to work into the future. I think they can have their cinemas at the moment 50% full. So
I went on Saturday night and it was kind of hard. Just you choose how many seats you want. They just clear the 2 seats either side and whatnot.
Yeah. So I think they said 100 because we would think they've offered it to us for our Shaft Awards, so our video awards, and they were saying that they can get 150 in out of 100. So 150 tickets you can sell. I know even if you made $2 a ticket, that's still $300.
One of those movies
it'd be a good community event.
Yeah, so it just might be something to consider. We don't have a lot of ways to make money as a P&C, but that might be a really easy, not a lot of work type thing. Pick the right movie, and you might sell it. Yeah. And it might be nice to have all the Southport people in the cinema.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Oh, that's awesome. I will look into that. Question it further. I've got use of funds in 2020. So we haven't really decided what's. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So obviously, as a school, we'd appreciate it if you put that towards the triple project because we're going to try and find 500,000.
That's what we're working on.
So anyway, so that would be obviously what we would ask the P&C to put that 50,000 towards is towards the triple S. Obviously, if we were unsuccessful in the triple S, we would then come back to the P&C and say, oh look, we're not going to spend it on that. You know, these are a couple of other initiatives that we'd like you to prioritise for that 50,000.
Yeah, I think that's why that's there. It's just so that it's just hanging around. Yeah. We can't make a really concrete decision on it just yet.
So when will you know about the triple S?
So the application finalised in August, or it must be this month sometime. And then you don't hear back until like 3 months or something, and then so we'll know before the start of next year.
Right.
So at the moment we're provisioning 250,000 out of this year's budget, and we'll provision 250 out of next year's budget.
And it's one of those ones that's a
dollar for dollar. Yeah. So the quote's coming at 1 point something million to do a standalone canteen, which will service up to 2,500 students, and it'll be more of a self-service shop type setup, and we can have run up to
in a good position.
More
central position. So
synergy there, where we did the Christmas concert. At the back of there, where that classroom was, that's where we're going to position it, which will be more central. And the idea is when we get B block and they remove the demountables, is we'll do a nice hill area there with sitting areas and grass.
Area.
So that's the plan.
The tuck shop kind of is at the moment, but it's a bit crowded and
we
not very comfortable.
Just need a
I think
successful
we're supportive of that, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it's just really a matter of
waiting for it to go.
waiting to hear for the
We'd be pretty keen to do our discussion stuff.
we've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, so I mean, probably doesn't need to have any motion until we get thing, and then once we get it, it provides a motion. So
That's what we want the money to go towards.
Yep, correct.
Was there any other general business? Did anyone else have anything to add? I don't know if anyone can type anything to add.
Okay, so Karen's just gone on there about is vehicular access to.
Vehicle access to the canteen.
Do we mean to the canteen? If you mean the canteen, Karen, yes. There's a pathway right down the front of I block, which will go directly to the back of the canteen. So, it'll be actually have a much better access than what we've got now at the moment, and it won't be driving through the front of the school.
They'll come back through around the back of the swimming pool.
Yeah, they'll come in through the
deliveries
avenue
and
and come in through next to Q-Ville there. So,
Instead of coming down around through here into where the students are if
that's-
it's break time,
This
reverse.
full driveway gets a bit of a
Yeah.
flop, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
that's great.
okay, for the canteen, yes, it was for the canteen.
Yep.
Okay, so that's all we have in general business because it's just not a lot happening this year. So, do we want to go to Nigel's report?
Yep. So I'm happy to do the principal report. Hopefully you're there. So just staff update is we're up to 209 staff and continually growing, obviously, with our numbers. If we're looking at next year, at the moment, we're probably looking to grow about another 100 or so students as we have every year theoretically. So that will probably increase to about 215 staff next year. Our enrolments, we're at 1,926. And we've got currently 199 students already enrolled for 2021, which is about the same as what we are at this time each year. So COVID hasn't affected that negatively or positively at the moment. So we're still looking probably to hit the same number as next year, around about that 350 in year 7. And we're obviously graduating at 257 cohort. So there's a 100 increase there just through that. And then we possibly should see a bit of stabilisation of numbers in because a lot of the cohorts that are around that 350 part. So hopefully we'll get some stabilisation around the 2,100 area, which would be great. Just some update and stuff that's happening. So it's good to see some activities starting to happen again. So we've got a STEM trivia challenge at Griffith University. Southport's actually created I'll just touch that screen so it doesn't go in sleep mode. Southport actually created some sporting competitions across the whole of the Gold Coast. We thought our kids haven't had much chance to play sport this year, so we're calling it the Excellence Alliance Cup. So we've invited all 19 high schools on the Gold Coast to be part of that, and different schools are playing in different sports. So we've got our year 11 and 12 soccer and basketball happening on the 19th of August. We've got our dance troupe is able to do the ASED, but they're doing it by filming this year, and then they're going to judge the films. So just an innovative way to work around COVID. So they're filming on Friday, or this Friday they're going to film that, and then we'll send filming in to be judged as an ASED, so which is really great. Then going on from that, we've got some STEM Cups happening, hospitality, lunch buffet for our hospitality students. A Year 12 Safer Schoolies presentation, so we're moving ahead as if schoolies may happen as it does normally. It will be interesting to see with that one. And then again, on Thursday next week, we've got our netball Year 11 and 12 competition happening across the whole of the Gold Coast. So there we go. Yeah, probably something to point towards in term 3, week 8 is our Year 12 mock exams, really important time for our Year 12 students. The mock exams are going to go through and test our students' knowledge of what they'll be have to do in their external exams. We're going to mark that information right straight away, those testing straight away, and we'll use that information to work out what we need to work with our kids in those first 3 or 4 weeks before external exams. So a really important time for us. First time we've run through it, but we feel really, really prepared for that, and we're looking forward to going through that process with our students and supporting them through that. We do have a student-free day coming up on the 4th of September. So don't need to send your kids on that day, the 4th of September, because we'll be here working, developing our expert teaching teams, and a number of our teachers are involved in moderation of this and collaboration around the Year 11 and 12 assessment. Going forward, I guess facility stuff, I gave you most of that update in the school council update there. So there's not really much more happening at the moment. We are looking to heat the pool for next year so that our students can use that all year round, which is, I think, will be fantastic for our physical education programs to allow our students to be able to do that. But other stuff I think we went through before, so I won't go into any more. So that's the update from me.
Okay, thank you, Nigel. I have the Treasurer's report because Carmel's not here, and it's basically not a lot of movement has happened, although this information is available for everyone. In the bank accounts, basically we have reinvested a term deposit for the next 4 months, although we'll reassess that after that, because I think it's at like 0.065 or something ridiculous. I don't even think it's a number. Yeah,
As you start taking money off you.
yeah, they just
exactly.
pay to put it in there.
Yeah.
So, which is a shame because it was really good when it first started out.
Yeah.
But there could possibly be a savings type account that's at a higher percentage than that now, which is a bit crazy. Our Community Solutions bank account, the only thing that was paid was the insurance for the PNC, the insurance that we have to pay annually to be a part of the PNC. And our building fund account just sits at 3,300 because there hasn't been any movement in that this year either. Because some of the ideas we had to get that going have been kind of destroyed by COVID. So I'll give you that because that's what Norman gave to me.
Yep.
And there weren't any copies, but
Thank you.
it'll be there for everyone to have a look at. We haven't made any executive decisions because once again with COVID there hasn't been a lot happening this year in the PNC. Business arising from correspondence. The correspondence inwards was just the Westpac rollover of the investment. And as the PNC president, I submitted a letter of support to the school for the SSHS application for the new canteen build. So that's been the only correspondence. Business arising from previous minutes. Resource scheme building fund donations. Well, that's what we were going to do in our building fund.
Yeah, that was, you were going to do something, but it's just kind of slack, isn't it?
Yeah. Because everything's been crazy.
It's whether we want to, at this time,
Yeah.
go asking people to put their hand in their pocket. Just vote no.
It would be, the focus would be the canteen build anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I think we just delay that to 20.
Yeah, and then you've got next year to do that if COVID sort of dies away and people start to get back on their feet and look for that. I think that's the right time. And I think also just prior to tax time as well. I think if we're going to do something, we do it, in May, June, so that people can get that instant
tax refund.
if they want to contribute to that, which would be great.
So our Queensland membership and insurance has been paid, as I said previously in the Treasurer's report, and the ATO is still outstanding, and that's just us trying to update and change some things for the PNC.
Time when they don't take 3 hours.
Yeah, which is really difficult to do. It should be easier with the way the season things change, but okay. I've done that. That's pretty much everything. We have a new member, Mel Attry.
Okay, that's Mel.
Thank you for joining, Mel. Did you have anything to add, Joe, to
No, I think
what's happening?
no, touching on kind of what Nigel just said a little bit earlier, Sam did post obviously with
Yeah,
regards to
the new
the new
building.
building, so
Take a look at
that was great. I think that's something
Plans
exciting.
and
Yeah, exciting to see coming forward. We had unfortunate circumstances, of course, but no, realistically, you guys are doing a great job. Appreciate just being involved and love knowing what the school's up to. So
I think mainly this year the PNC's, of course, we can't hold any events. Being on the council, we're trying to work in conjunction with the council more doing the virtual. So we're not kind of doubling up with the PC and the council information to parents because it's kind of the same. So that we're on the link between the two.
Have we discussed formal part or is that?
We haven't, but I can.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I can talk about formal for those people. So we actually went to the convention centre today and we'll put some information out to parents this week, hopefully tomorrow. Students are getting their invitations on Friday, which is fantastic. But yeah, it looks great. We went and had a look at the venue. So arrivals will work. Kids will be able to turn up in their car. There'll be no one outside of the venue. They will be filmed getting out of their car, and the whole of the internal part, so the 1,200 people we can get internally will be able to watch that on the big screen inside. So they'll watch them come through.
And then just saying that's a very, very slow process. All the cars pulling up and everyone's there.
Yeah. So it'll still be long because all the parents are going to have to be seated prior to say 4:30 before arrivals start. Then students will turn up, film coming out of their car, they'll then walk down a red carpet. They'll then walk through the venue, so all the parents will be able to see that, and walk through, come past the stage, wrap around, and then go and sit in their seats. Once everyone's arrived, Then we'll start the ceremony and the students will come up. They'll then receive their awards, again, get a picture taken on stage receiving their awards. We're going to do 2 live performances and 2 film performances. And then from there, the students who are going to go to the formal will go through a secret door almost into another room, which will then take them through to the formal. Students who aren't attending the formal will just go home with their parents, just walk out through there. In 2.5 hours or so, the students will finish their formal and they'll just be picked up by their parents. We're going to have a lot of student performances. The kids are very keen to do some trivia and stuff like that, so I know the organising committee's working through that. So it actually sounds like it's going to be a really great event. And what we're hoping, and I might not be able to hold to this, but we think we can get 4 tickets per family, which means that's going to be good. So that's 4 tickets per family at the moment, we're saying, and then students will be there, and we think we'll be able to invite staff as well. So, so that's looking really promising. Obviously, that is totally based on today's COVID restrictions. If things change tomorrow or in the future, that could change. But yeah, it looks really, really good, and the venue looks fantastic, and they're doing the same thing for, I think, 5 or 6 schools are doing the same sort of process around that. So pretty much any of the big schools on the Gold Coast, this is their only alternative. So you can have arrivals and have a graduation and a formal together. So it's been fantastic.
So well done in getting them.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of work, but we've got there.
It's an event that's kind of been the same format for years and years and years, so it's kind of like the kids on escape. So there's not going to be dancing and stuff, so they have to think of different ways to make it.
Well, apparently the rules are they can actually dance behind their seats. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
You can do that with pub too.
I did say that to my daughter.
I think there'll be some sort of activity around that. I've seen a couple of things come up on the chat there, so I'll just grab a device so I can see what they're. So if there's questions we can answer. So yeah, Karen sort of said before, Drama Fest is also going virtual. She thinks the music showcase is planned. That's true. Filmed is a great project for a future film producer. Yes, part of that I didn't mention. They're also going to film the graduation and formal, and they're going to live stream it. So it'll either be on YouTube or Facebook. So if you need more than 4 tickets, sorry you can't do that. But grandma and grandpa and brothers and sisters can watch that on the from home or on their devices, which is great. So that's good. Rebecca said she's got a company she can recommend. I think we've got to work with the convention people, but if that doesn't work out, we'll give you a call, Rebecca. And yeah, no worries, Karen. We've worked hard, but the kids have done all the work, not really us. So I'm really looking forward for Ash Black to work with the organising community to make that a really, really great night. So yeah, very happy about that. And yeah, today was the day we could confirm a lot of those things. As I said, tomorrow Ash and I will draft up a letter to all the students and parents just to tell them the details around that, what's happening with that event. And as I say, the students are getting their invitations on Friday, and I think Ash and I are going to meet with the students maybe next week for Toro or CFC to actually talk the kids through how it'll all work and how they'll enter and all those sorts of things. So yeah, so by Wednesday next week, everyone should have a very clear idea around how it's going to work and what's going to happen.
Sounds great.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. So positive.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no other questions.
Nothing else in the chat there.
Not sure. A wrap up of the meeting.
Yeah.
It's short and sweet now.
Very concise this time around. Yeah.
Nothing to sort out. So thank you all for joining us. The next meeting, what are we going to do? Just wing it? See whether we're going to have a next meeting?
Yeah, let's look at.
Because at the moment we're kind of having every second meeting, just not a lot happening to have them monthly.
Yeah, I think we just required to have 1 per term under the rules, but.
And we'll do another school forum meeting. So if the feedback is that this was a good way to do it, so we appreciate your feedback. For those online and anyone who watches the recording later, you can feedback to us if you like this format. We can do this at least 4 times a year, where we have the school council present, roll into the PNC meeting, and then, as I say, we can increase the amount of PNC meetings as COVID sort of restrictions reduce, and we can just support stuff around events. So,
And it makes it all more accessible for people who just can't physically make it to meetings. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so it's another positive that's come out of COVID.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much. I'll shut the session down and stop recording. Thank you for getting involved tonight, and I look forward to seeing you all in person in the future.